Oh, what's up, guys? It's the Hot Wheels historian here, and don't mind me. I'm just hiding my face in shame. See, as any local embarrassment would, I vowed to never show my face again, especially after this latest incident. Because let me tell you, nothing trumps the embarrassment of walking up to the cashier at Walmart and putting one of these on the counter. It was 20 years ago, and I still haven't been able to live that down.
Hot Wheels Blings. The pimp is strong with this one. Hot Wheels Blings were a line that began in 2004. What a shock. Naturally, since Mattel had such an affinity for making things unnecessarily big and cartoony at the time, the Blings line was no different and featured cars with squished, bubbly, cartoony bodies and ginormous wheels. Whereas the Fatbacks and Hardnose only blew up one end of the car, the Blings inflated everything into one pimpin' monstrosity. Now I know, based on how the previous videos have gone, a lot of you were probably expecting me to conduct an absolutely scathing review on these things. And I hate to disappoint you, but unfortunately, that's not what this video is going to be. Because I don't hate these things. In fact, I think I actually kind of like them.
What? What is wrong with you?
I'm fully prepared for an army of fear and confusion to come out of this, but yeah, I kinda like these things. I'm sure you're all wondering why, and I don't know, man. There's just something about them that's really satisfying in a weird way. The aesthetic isn't fantastic, but it's certainly a lot better than most of the other ones we've covered thus far. Compared to the Fatbacks and Hardnose, these designs are pretty minimalistic. They're just fun, dumb, obese little cars with funny big wheels. Just let me have something. I feel similarly to these as I do to the Tuned line, where the aesthetic is so stupid that it manages to circle back around to being great. Am I alone in this?
You dumb piece of shit.
So let's take a gander at what the Blings line has to offer to see just how far off the deep end I've truly gone at this point. Starting out, we have the Outer line. We're starting off strong here. It's a non-copyrighted Nissan Skyline. It looks like one of those Unity assets that indie game developers use when trying to avoid using licensed cars. This is a slick street tuner that could make any Fast and Furious fan shed a tear. This is actually one of my personal favorites in the line. Something about it really stands out to me. It's just a pretty good looking tuner. The rear specifically sports a huge wing and a massive exhaust, big enough to use as a cigarette holder. The one thing I really dislike about this car is the taillights. They just look so weird. I'm sure they probably wanted to avoid using actual Skyline taillights, but geez, could they have not have used any other taillight design besides this? The Lotus Esprit. The spirit of British racing excellence in a form only a mother could love. This is honestly a great one too. A small boy Lotus in a real nice green and gold British racing livery. A nice spoiler at the rear tops this design off splendidly. Honestly, I really don't have much to say about this car. It's just really solid. The Chevy Avalanche. This one's a bit weird with how the roof is so flat, but other than that, another great design. I especially love the livery on this thing. Forget the twin mill. This should be the Hot Wheels mascot. Also, we gotta mention this new special rim style. The Blings introduced these sick new rims exclusively for this line, and I think this is another part of why I really love these. The Blings rim style is awesome. It's tacky, it's obnoxious, and I absolutely adore it. I don't care. I'll say it. I wish more castings used it, and I wish it was still around today. The thing that's kind of weird, however, is that not every Blings car uses it. It was literally purpose made for this line, yet only about half the cars actually use it. What the hell, Mattel? The Dairy Delivery. What a great way to disgrace a beloved classic casting. I'll be honest, I don't really like this one. I don't like how the front wheels are like 3 times smaller than the rear ones. I think another part of why I'm fine with most of the other cars in this line is because they're at least somewhat symmetrical in terms of wheel and body size ratio. This one kinda leans into Fatbacks and Hardnose territory a bit, and while I still wouldn't say it's that bad, this is probably one of the Blings that I care for the least. The Cadillac Escalade, the traditional pimp car. This was my first Blings I ever owned, and I absolutely love it. It's not my favorite of the Blings anymore, but it's still a really good one, and honestly is pretty much the perfect introductory car to the line. Everything about this line is so clearly demonstrated here. I also gotta mention how the Cadillac emblem takes up so much more space on the grille than ever before. You could effectively use this car to brand cattle. The Dodge Ram. This one looks like Shrek. This truck is super low. Seriously, its skirts are practically scraping the f***ing floor. This one almost has lowrider vibes. It's nearly a square. The roof is super low and the bed is super high. But it's another good one. There's something so weirdly appealing about it. I think the colors are probably part of it. This design is topped off perfectly by the excellent red paint and flame livery. But yeah, not much else to say about this one either. It's another great little truck. The Brick Cutter. Forget cutting bricks, this thing could probably cut through steel. This thing is like a cartoon, and I love it. The gigantic motor, the front grille looking like a menacing mouth, the wide front bumper. It's almost got that pristine look. It looks so evil. I also really love how the taillights are part of the window piece so that they actually give off a bit of a glint. It's an awesome little detail that you don't see too often, at least not done in this specific manner. This thing is fantastic. It's weird, it's wacky, and once again, I love it. The Plymouth Barracuda. Well, them Duke boys done gone lost their damn minds. This old chungus here is another one I'm kinda iffy on. I kinda hate how thin it looks. Now, it may seem contradictory to say when talking about this line, but I don't know, it just looks off. I'm also not too big a fan of the massive chin spoiler. I really just did not need to see this thing with a goatee. It looks like Wayne Static from Static X. These two massive exhausts sit under the doors in a way that would probably actively injure or kill people in real life. So of course, that's a redeeming quality of this. The Hummer H2. Now we're getting fucking pimped. This is a solid gold brick of a Hummer. And it's the absolute pinnacle of what the name of this line suggests. King Midas would be so proud. It's thick, tall, and weighs 24 carats. I honestly would expect nothing less from a Hummer in this line. Everything is right with the universe because this thing exists in this form. I literally have nothing else to say here. It's just perfect. And finally, the Hyperliner. Riced wide-body minivan? Yes. Take the kids to school, Mom. I love this thing. I don't even know why, I just love it. The huge splitter, the wide body, the gigantic roof scoop, the enormous wing. It's all just masterful. This JDM people mover is the best one in the entire line for me. It looks fast enough to outrun any other car on the track, but also looks rugged enough to burst through a brick wall without even a scratch. Yeah, the regular Hyperliner exists too, but I feel like the Blings aesthetic really helps to accentuate the batshit insane nature of this car. I adore this. Some may think it's stupid, but I genuinely think this is the definitive version of the Hyperliner. It's great. And I don't care who hates me for saying it. Well, that's it for the Blings. You know, I gotta be honest, I really thought there was much more to this line. Oh, god damn it. Unlike their fatbacks and hard-nosed counterparts, the Blings actually survived into 2005 and would have a whole nother year to rain terror on society. So we've got 10 more here to go through. Let's see if they improved or deproved. Starting off, the Rocket Box. Why does this have a Volkswagen logo? This one is fine. Not my favorite, but I don't outright hate it either. I mean, it's basically just an egg with wheels. What do you want from me? I gotta say, though, I love that they designed the sunroofs to look like Spy Kids goggles. The Chrysler 300. And here we have the other traditional pimp car. I'm with this livery, it truly looks the part too. This thing is gangster. It looks like it belongs in a Saints Row game. The faster than ever wheels look kinda strange on a Blings car, but they've actually really grown on me. Also, to be fair, only later versions of the car had these, so if you're not into it, you can always go for one of the earlier ones. But hey, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. Be forced to live with it for long enough and you'll end up enjoying it. Or not. The Hummer H3. It's not the best Hummer in this line, that's for sure. Compared to the H2, this thing is just sad. There's nothing interesting going on here. I fell asleep at my desk just looking at this. It's just boring. It's the blandest looking car this line has to offer. And why the hell is there a faster than ever spare wheel when the actual car has PR5s on it? This whole mismatched wheels thing drives my OCD crazy. The Quadra Sound. Man, they should have had Scirocco driving this thing in Acceleracers. This might be my second favorite in the lineup, honestly. I unironically think this truck looks phenomenal. It kind of reminds me of the F-150 Lightning from the first Fast and Furious movie, as well as, of course, the baseline. It takes everything great about the baseline, pulls away the JDM style, and throws in some sick 2000s American pimp style. I never had this one as a kid. However, I remember playing the Hot Wheels full power pinball web game as a kid, and I loved the table that featured this car. This car just looks so great. It's another one that I unironically really love. The Mercedes G500, and here to round out the traditional pimp trifecta, here we have this meaty Mercedes. I like this one, but again, this is another one that I just don't have that much to say about. I do love the really boxy look of the body. I think it works especially well on this one. This specific one is from a Christmas 4-pack from 2006. I think the colors on the original are far better. However, this one has grown on me quite a bit. The Bling. Look at that mohawk. This car looks like such a punk ass. This car looks like the type that would unplug its grandmother's life support just to plug in their iPhone charger. Honestly, to me, this feels like they made the Pokemon Scrafty into a Hot Wheels car. I'm not as crazy about this design as I thought I'd be. It's cool, but it's also kind of awkward. There's so much shit on this body, it's overwhelming. The proportions are just a bit off, even for a Blings car. And while I wouldn't say I flat out hate this car, I am just a little disappointed by it. The 67 Chevy. Another car that I think just looks really solid. I love the colors on this thing. Something about the overall body is really aesthetically pleasing to me. And it's honestly got the best shape out of all the 2005s. The hood scoop and wheelie bar at the back also add such a nice finishing touch. And quite honestly, even though I complained about it before, I'm kinda glad this car doesn't have the Blings rims. I think the 5 spokes look phenomenal. The Blocko Wood. I'm getting a woody just looking at it. This is the better version of the dairy delivery. Everything is evened out this time, and overall has a much better look. I also really love this silver and white model. If the regular Blocko Wood is a coffee table, this thing is a refrigerator. The front is still kind of weird though. It looks like it's got buck teeth, but other than that, another nice one. The Ford Bronco Concept. This car may never have come out, but at least it has this atrocity keeping its legacy alive. I love that so many of these obscure 2000s concepts cars made it into these dumbass lines. The hardnose got the 16 concept, the drop tops got the Dodge Super 8, and this line got the weird Bronco concept that nobody remembers. With the colors, I honestly think this is another one that should have gotten the Acceleracers rub. Imagine the silencers showing up in this hulking thing. And hey, it looks like this car is taking inspiration from our good friend the Mega Thrust. It's also got its own roulette table. And finally, the Dodge Magnum. Because the real-life Dodge Magnum just wasn't beefy enough. The Dodge Magnum is the automotive poster child for the title of Car You'll Never Admit You Like to Anyone Besides Your Therapist. And the Blings variant echoes that sentiment perfectly. This bright yellow bitch is so much rounder than I would have expected. It looks like it could float away, but also looks like it weighs 500 pounds and will crush your finger if you drop it. The front and rear faces of this car are just a bit off-putting though. They just look really strange. Something's not totally right about them. So overall, not my favorite, but honestly not too bad of a way to end off this line. Overall, the 2005 run of Blings is a bit of a step down from 2004's lineup. But still, there's some really solid designs hidden in here. The Quadrasound and 67 Chevy alone save it for me. I genuinely really like those. The Blings may have lasted longer than the Fatbacks and Hardnose, but that still doesn't mean they were successful. After 2005, the line was canned, and though the Blings rim style would still occasionally be used on the odd mainline casting here or there, it was also eventually phased out. Don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect line, but I genuinely think it had potential staying power, much like the tuned line, which still exists to this day. Everybody likes to clown on the goofy lines from 2004. Hell, 2 of my most popular videos on this channel are me doing exactly that. Most of that clowning is very much warranted. But I adamantly refuse to clown on these. I don't care what anyone says, I think they're genuinely kinda great. They have such an odd charm to them that I cannot shake. They're much better looking aesthetically than the Fatbacks, and they're much more consistent in design than the Hardnose. There's just something really novel and enjoyable about these things. I can't even really explain it. Whether it be the unique rim style or the neatly compacted designs, I don't know, I just really like them. Leave me alone, damn it. But not to worry, friends. Despite me being oddly positive about these, we've still got one more line from 2004 we have yet to take a look at. And don't worry, because you're probably not going to have to wait as long for that video as you did for this one. Seriously, I need to do it soon because these things are melting fast.